Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 3 want to present tax audit. This is our members. I am Ira, Umi Isha Dina, Majida and Nurin Masara. This is our lesson outline of tax audit.
Firstly, what is the tax audit? Tax audit is to ascertain that the right amount of tax has been calculated and paid according to the tax law and regulation. What is the objective of tax audit? First is to encourage voluntary compliance with the tax law and regulation. Second is to ensure a higher tax compliance rate is achieved under the self-assessment system. Third is to educate and create awareness of taxpayers towards their responsibility under the provision of ITA. And lastly, the objective of the tax audit is to ensure that the correct amount of income has been reported and the right amount of tax has been paid according with the tax regulation.
There are two types of audit, desk audit and field audit. What is desk audit? Audit held at IRBM's office, normally concerned with straightforward issues or tax adjustment which easily dealt. What is field audit? Is one that take place at taxpayer premise.
So next is audit tax procedure. So the first one is audit venue. Second one is audit commencement. Third is the visit. Fourth is record examination. Fifth is audit time frame. And the last one is settlement of audit. Audit venue. So what is audit venue? The audit venue is a desk audit is carried out at the IRBM office, whereas a field audit is carried out at the taxpayer business premise. Where the business premise are not suitable, the taxpayer may suggest a suitable alternative for IRBM agreement. Next is audit commencement. Audit commencement is a taxpayer who is selected for an audit will be notified by IRBM through a letter of notification of audit. So the period is between the date of notification of audit and the audit visit is 14 days. However, with the agreement of the taxpayer, a shorter period of notification may be fixed by IRBM. A letter confirming the visit is usually preceded by a phone call. A taxpayer may request for the audit visit to be deferred due to unavoidable circumstances and reasonable ground. A letter of notification of audit usually include the name of audit officer who will conduct the audit, the expected time frame required, the record that should be made available for audit, the year of assessment to be audited, intended date of visit. A taxpayer may contact the branch audit manager or branch director of IRBM for the purpose of confirming the audit visit. Third is the visit. The audit normally starts off with an interview. So in the interview, they will be enabled the audit officer to meet the taxpayer to obtain an overview of the taxpayer business activity and to discuss the audit process. The taxpayer will be asked to explain his business activity, accounting, and record keeping system. During the audit process, the person responsible for the handling of taxpayers' business record will also be interviewed. During the course of an audit, the audit officer should be allowed to examine all business records and to inspect stock and equipment physically for verification of the claim made. Records pertaining to the year of assessment which are already time barrier will not be examined. In certain circumstances, there may be a need to examine records other than business record where it involves the audit of sole proprietorship and partnership. So this is example of the audit will be record. First, it books of account for recording receipt and payment or income and expenditure. Invoice, voucher, receipt, and other documents that are required to verify attires recorded in the books of account. Document, object, material, article, and things which are maintained and kept in the form of electronic media. Any other record as may be specified by the DGIR. Audit official will not seize record but will exempt them at the taxpayer business premise. Copy of relevant document may be made if necessary. If the taxpayer workplace is unsuitable or lack copying facility, document may be exempt at the IRBM office with taxpayer concerns. Exempted document will be returned to the taxpayer. A list of documents taken will be provided to the taxpayer for verification. Electronic record should be made available in a hard copy for examination. If not possible, audit official may copy electronic record onto tapes or disks with taxpayer assistance. Audit time frame. The time required to complete on a site examination of record is 2 to 3 days. However, the audit time frame may be extended depending on the following factors. First, the size of the business and the complexity of business transaction, the form in which records are kept, or the extent of the cooperation from the taxpayer. The audit time frame is applicable only to field audit. Settlement of audit. Audit finding report. Following the conclusion of audit process, an audit finding report is prepared by the audit officer. This report undergoes approval by the branch audit manager, ensuring accountability and accuracy in the finding presented. Voluntary engagement. Taxpayers are empowered to actively participate in the audit process without being summoned by the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia (IRBM). They have the liability to visit IRBM office to seek clarification on their audit progress or to provide additional information, thereby expediting the settlement process. Schedule decision. In the specific instances necessitating further discussion on the proposed debt adjustment, taxpayer may be required to attend meeting at the IRBM office. The discussion are facilitated by the audit official alongside at least one senior audit official, fostering transparency and enable consultative dialogue between the taxpayer and tax authorities. The taxpayer will be informed of the audit finding, which will cover the following areas: audit issue raised, reason and rationale for raising the audit issue, the amount of proposed debt adjustment if any, and the year of assessment involved. Notification and explanation. Taxpayer will receive timely notification detailing proposed debt adjustment along with a clear rationale. They are afforded the opportunity to present their perspective and provide explanation regarding audit finding and proposed adjustment. Objection process within a reasonable time frame of 14 days from the notification. Taxpayers have the right to officially object to proposed adjustment if they disagree. They are encouraged to furnish additional information and evidence to support their objection. Resolution and agreement. Failure to object within the disputed timeframe implies agreement with proposed adjustment. Conversely, if the objection lack merit according to established provision, taxpayers are duty informed. This ensures transparency and clarity in the resolution process. Assessment and penalty. Following resolution, taxpayers receive either notice of additional assessment with applicable penalties or notification of non-chargeable to tax, depending on the outcome. In case when no adjustment are necessary, taxpayers are properly informed of the audit conclusion. Settlement timeframe and progress audit. The audit settlement process adjusts to a defined timeframe of 4 months from commencement. Should the case require more time, taxpayers are kept informed of the progress. This commitment to transparency fosters trust and ensure effective communication throughout the audit process.
Tax audit selection criteria is based on third-party information, risk analysis, specific industries, location, taxpayers' previous record of return, and contentious tax development. As for location, companies in major cities like KL, Penang, and JB are highly selective for tax audit rather than other cities. This is because economic activities are well established there. As for risk analysis, IRBM compiles statistics on industries' average on turnover and gross profit. As for specific industries, such as property developers, contractors, IT, are selected for tax audit because have many unresolved and contentious issues. As for third-party information, IRBM would embark on tax audit on another taxpayer if there is reasonable suspicion that taxpayer may have under-reporting business income. Last but not least, as for taxpayers' previous record of return, Taxpayers who has habit of late submission of return will have high risk of being selected for tax audit. Lastly, as for contentious tax development, the hotly debated contentious tax issue such as Section 4A rental income may be prioritized for tax audit.
Right and responsibilities of the audit officer. An audit officer is expected to carry out his duties in the following manners. The first one is be professional, well-mannered, trustworthy, and with integrity. The second one is always ready to give explanation on the subject of the tax audit and the rights and responsibilities of the taxpayer. The third one is knowledgeable and fair in administering tax laws. The audit officer should not have any personal or financial interest in the business of the taxpayer that being audited. They also cannot recommend to a taxpayer a certain tax agent to be appointed as the tax agent for the audit case. Lastly, they should never abuse their position or power in carrying out their duty as provided under Section 118 of the ITA. Right and responsibilities of a taxpayer. The taxpayer should be cooperative, well-mannered, fair, honest, and with integrity during the tax audit. They should provide the audit officer with help and facilities to help them to do their jobs. They also should cooperate by providing a complete answer to all the questions that they asked. And they should not give to the audit officer or doing business with them during the audit. They should make any payment to the audit officers. Obstructing or hindering the audit officer from doing their job is also not allowed. Rights and responsibilities of a tax agent. Taxpayer can have tax agent present with them during the interview and also can bring an interpreter if they can't speak Bahasa Malaysia or English. And also, if they want to hire a new tax agent, they need to give a copy of the appointment letter. As for the tax agent, they need to follow a code of ethics that is set by the IRBM, which is based on integrity, accountability, transparency, and also social responsibilities. And as a tax agent, what they should do is, the first one is be professional and be fully conservant with the tax laws and act with integrity. The second one is should be honest, trustworthy, and transparent when working with taxpayer and IRBM, and also fully cooperate and follow the rules and guidelines that is set by the IRBM. They also should avoid misusing information or abusing their position as a tax agent for personal gain. So what they should not do as a tax agent is, first one, providing incorrect advice to taxpayer and working with them to avoid paying the right amount of taxes. The second one is delaying the tax audit or being irresponsible with the assigned duties. And lastly is give any form of gift to audit officer.
I am here to present about assessment and penalties. The first one is understatement of tax. This penalty is imposed under Section 113, Subsection 2 of ITA, and it is equivalent to other charged tax amount 100%. However, DJIR may consider lower penalty, 45%, to be imposed on the first offence. Under Section 80 and 80 Subsection 1A, there is provision of reasonable facilities and assistance, where the taxpayer need to provide reasonable facilities and assistance to the IRBM when they are carrying the field audit in the premises of the taxpayers. Upon conviction, the offender may be liable to a fine of 1,000 to 10,000 or imprisonment for up to 1 year or both. The last one is under Section 82, Subsection 1, Subsection A, which is keeping of records. Every taxpayer needs to keep a sufficient records for as long as 7 years from the end of the year. Upon conviction, the offender may be liable to a fine of 300 to 10,000 or imprisonment up to 1 year or both.